Welcome to a new project on my channel. We're playing Pillars of Eternity, a game by Obsidian. We have already played an Obsidian game before on this channel, namely Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords. This game will not be like KOTOR 2, but it will be similar to Baldur's Gate 3 actually, only that this one is a little bit more, let's say, old school. It's from 2015, and yeah, it's a CRPG, asymmetric, and I'm really looking forward to play this game. It's an RPG, of course. It's like D&D, but it's not really D&D. Like Baldur's Gate 3 took D&D 5th edition and made some minor adjustments. Pillars of Eternity has its own system. And yeah, there's also Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, and Avowed, which came out this year. And yeah, I'm planning to play those as well, but I wanted to play them in order, so we're gonna start with Pillars of Eternity. There's also the White March DLC, which I have, and it is installed, which you can also see down here. Main game installed, part 1, part 2 of the DLCs. As far as I understand, these are part of the story, and we will do them in the middle. We can't do them at the end. It will be somewhere in between. So yeah, I think we've talked enough. Let's start the game. New game settings. Well, as I said before, I have played Baldur's Gate 3 before, so I know a little bit. I don't know that much. I played Baldur's Gate 3 on normal difficulty, and I tend to play normal difficulty here as well. The normal difficulty requires strategy and efficiency, but forgives a few mistakes in combat. It is not recommended for newcomers to real-time party-based RPGs. Also I have played Dragon Age Origins, which is a real-time party-based RPG. Also, similar to this one, it pauses the game every time you want to, and you can give commands to your companions. So it will be, let's say, a mix of Dragon Age Origins and Baldur's Gate 3, I believe. So yeah, I will play on normal. If it is too hard, I'll probably go down to easy. Hard is probably not for me, but let's start with normal. Then we have expert mode. Expert mode disables a number of helper features. In the game, players who want to rely on their own faculties and intuition while playing the game should play expert mode. This option is selected when you start a new game. It cannot be enabled in-game, and if disabled, cannot be re-enabled in the game. I'm not doing this since this is the first time I play this game. I don't want it to be too hard. Trial of Iron. In Trial of Iron mode, only one save file is kept for the entire playthrough. If the player is killed, the file is deleted and you must start again. This option can't be changed in-game. So this is like honor mode in Baldur's Gate 3. I'm not doing that either, because I'm already on normal and not harder, because I don't believe I'll be good enough for that. Let's play on normal, without expert mode and without Trial of Iron. So let's go. And this is how we can create our character. I am going to play a male character. Let me read through all of this. The place of men in society varies from culture to culture. Cultures like Adir and the Durwood place them at the forefront of military, politics and heavy labor. Among the tribes of Nasitak, men perform many of the homesteading and organizational duties. In Erglanfath and Ixamital, men and women have more fluid social roles. In all societies there are exceptions to the rule, and men can be found in a wide variety of stations and professions. Yeah, we could also have over those things. Durwood, a colonial nation founded by settlers from the Adir Empire. Following a series of conflicts with Adir, the territory became independent in 2672 AI and is now ruled by a duchess, okay. A duke, probably a duke, yeah. Or a duchess, whatever. Who is elected by 7 earls that oversee its earldoms. I'm just perplexed about this DUC, this It must be a duke, right? Ir Glanfath, a territory comprised of the forest southeast of the Bale River, populated indigenously by a group of loosely affiliated tribes, collectively known as Glanfathans, and governed by a council of its 6 most powerful tribes. Ir Glanfath is home to a large number of ruined Engwithan sites, which Glanfathans hold sacred. The ruins have been at the center of a number of large-scale conflicts with Deerwooden colonists, whose settlements often encroach on Glanfathan territory and who frequently seek to plunder the ruins for their relics. Okay. Female. A woman's role in Era is largely dependent on where she is from. In the Adia Empire, Valian republics, and the Durwoods, women occupy many domestic, educational, and organizational roles. They are the primary hunters, soldiers, and leaders of the tribes of Nasitak. In Air Glanfath and Ixamital, women and men have more fluid social roles. In all societies, there are exceptions to the rule, and women can be found in a wide variety of stations and professions. So yeah, we didn't check out Valiant Republics. A mercantile power and former colony of a larger, more ancient nation, Old Valia. The republics lie to the south of Deerwood and Erglanfath and are ruled by a duke elected by the Consueli Sagia, a council of 14 dukes, including its 5 most prominent, the duke spells. Okay, but I am a man and I would like to play as a male character. Can we? Yeah, we can actually move our character a bit to see the back. Okay. We have humans. Humans, commonly called folk, are the most common race in the Deerwoods and the Adir Empire, Old Valia and the Valian republics. Though not as large as the towering Aumawa, humans are known for their strength and willpower. So we get resolve and might. If we're human, Aumawa. The mighty Aumawa are the largest of the Kith races and are commonly found in or near oceans. Though not truly aquatic, they have an affinity for water, and many of their civilizations, such as Rawatai, are based on naval dominance. They are known for their unparalleled strength. Yep, they get +2 in might, so yeah. Might is the attribute for strength, I assume. Dwarf. By virtue of lands covered and number of colonies settled, dwarves are the most well-traveled race in the world. They are commonly found in the Deerwoods, the Valian republics, and almost any colonized land. Dwarves are known for their great strength and tenacity. So yeah, more strength too, dexterity -1, and constitution +1. Alright. Elves. Elves are the dominant race in Erglanfath and the Whites that wins, and are extremely common in the Deerwood and Adir. Elves are known for their speed and intelligence, as well as commonly isolationist nature. Dexterity and perception for those. Orlands. Ooh, small creatures. Orlands are the smallest, as I said, of the Kith races, though many cultures don't consider them to be civilized at all. Also notable for their large ears, two-toned skin, and hirsute bodies. Orlands are commonly found in Erglanfath, the Ixamital Plains, and parts of the Deerwood. They are known for their mental intensity and sharp senses. So they have resolve, not much in might, but 2 in perception as well. And last but not least is the godlike. The godlike are children of the Kith, civilized races, who have been blessed with physical aspects associated with the gods, though some do not consider it a blessing. These aspects may take many forms and often come with mystical powers. Aberrant head shapes are typical, and godlike are unable to wear protective headgear, as it is near impossible to find anything that fits. Because of their unusual nature and their inability to reproduce, godlike are often viewed with fear and wonder. Dexterity and intellect for them. It's interesting, but I don't want to give up on headgear, so maybe not doing that. If I would go after the bonuses, I should take an elf, because I have already I was already thinking of playing a ranger with bow and arrows and an animal companion, but we'll get to that soon. So elf should be probably the best for that. But maybe I'm going for human. I know that is kind of boring, but still. I mean, I am human myself, and I think you also need those attributes here. Might represents a character's physical and spiritual strength, brute force, as well as their ability to channel powerful magic during interactions. It can be useful for intimidating displays and acts of brute force. In combat, it contributes to both damage and healing, as well as the fortitude defense. The damage, that is the point, and I think we need a lot of damage if we're going to be a damage dealer as an archer. I mean, we'll have the pet who should be able to tank for us, and we go full on damage, so might would be needed. Resolve reflects a character's internal drive, determination, fearlessness, and the emotional intensity they can project to others. It can be useful for mental intimidation, leadership, and convincing performances. That is something I always like it's something like charisma in Baldur's Gate. In combat, it helps, I mean, in Dungeons and Dragons, obviously. In combat, it helps characters maintain concentration and contributes to the will and deflection defenses. So will and deflection defenses is also interesting, but yeah, I think resolve is not the number one thing for combat for us, but I would like to be good in, leadership, since I am basically the leader of our party at one point in the future, so I think resolve is something we would need. So we'd be a human. We could be from the Meadow folk. The most common humans in the Durwoods, the Meadow folk, or Thirtan, have lived in that area for almost 2,000 years. Meadow folk traditionally live at the edges of elven forests, work in the open plains, hence the name. Most humans in the Durwoods are Thirtan. Fighting spirits, once per encounter, 5 seconds after being reduced below 50% endurance, folk temporarily gain bonuses to accuracy and damage. Accuracy is probably how often I can hit someone. As part of almost every attack, it influences how likely the attack is to affect the target. Yeah, that's what I meant. And damage, obviously the damage, yeah. Okay, interesting. Ocean folk. Ocean folk, Kalbandra, originated near the equator on the other side of the globe and are currently the most widespread human group in that region, but they have also migrated to the far reaches of the world. Ocean folk are the dominant culture in the Vailian republics and are also common in the Deerwood. Fighting spirits, once per encounter 5... Oh, that's the same thing? Endurance? Folk, yeah. Okay, they have all the same fighting spirit. Savannah folk. Savannah folk, Natlan, come originally from just south of the equator and, with the exception of some groups that migrated north, have remained in the same location for over 10,000 years. The name Natlan literally means original. While quite common in Red Kiras, Savannah folk are not usually seen in the Deerwood and the Kaelian republics. Okay. So this is just for role-playing, because the fighting spirit is for everyone. So the Meadow folk are from Deerwood. They lived there for 2,000 years. Ocean folk, which are from the Equator region, or Savannah folk, which are from the south. Well, I'll just go for the original, I guess, the first one, the Meadow folk. Doesn't really make any difference in my opinion. Okay, so I would like to go through all of them just quickly, not reading all of this because this is going to be a bit too much. But the Barbarian, yeah, that one is going to be a melee fighter with 2 weapons. Starting ability Carnage. When barbarians hit with melee attacks, they automatically make reduced damage attacks at all other enemies within a short distance of the target. Oh, interesting. Athletics +2, survival +1. Yeah, those are like skills, not attributes, skills, which are also very important in the game. So more endurance, health, accuracy, deflection. Alright. Then paladins, they fight with the sword and the shields. Starting ability, Faith and Conviction. Paladins have an inherent bonus to all of their defenses. Over the course of the game, the value of this bonus may shift based on the reputations the paladin gains, reflective to the behaviors that are preferred by his or her order. Okay, so both are usable tanks, I would say. Maybe not someone who I would have for the first, like the main tank. That would be reserved for the fighter, which we come to later, but maybe as a second tank would be nice. Chanter with a two-handed weapon. Starting abilities, phrases, chants. All chanters can continuously speak chants made up of magical phrases. Phrases produce passive effects and help build a chanter's power until they can use an invocation. Invocations, powerful magical effects that chanters can create after they have spoken the required number of phrases through their chants. Lore mechanic. Okay. As far as I understand, those are damage dealers. But let me quickly read through this here. Yeah, no. It looks to me as if they are just damage dealers, because they're also doing magic. It looks a bit like that because they have a two-handed weapon, and they're like those really going hard. But it could be similar to the Barbarian as well, because the Barbarian is also not with a shield. But yeah, I'm not gonna choose them, so it's not gonna be that much of a thing for me. Priests, their starting ability, Holy Radiance, generates a modest amount of endurance for allies around the priest. Any enemy vessels caught in the area take burn damage and may be frightened. Over the course of the game, the power of this ability may shift based on the reputations the priest gains relative to the behaviors that are preferred by his or her deity. Spells, priests have access to a variety of support and some offense-oriented spells. Every 2 levels, priests automatically gain access to an additional set of spells. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest. As priests gain power, their weaker spells eventually shift to per encounter use. Okay, so they are basically the healers, and it would be good to have at least one priest in your party at all times. That's what I'm trying to do then. Ciphers, also two-handed, but they're wearing it in one arm. Yeah, okay, this chanter as well. Interesting. Starting ability, powers. Ciphers can directly target allies and enemies with powerful soul-focused effects. These powers cost focus, which ciphers build through the use of the soul whip. Interesting. I'm not quite sure what the difference between chanter and cipher is then, but there will be something. Okay, ranger. I'm gonna read through the whole thing because that's what I'm going to choose. Rangers are warriors of the woodlands and masters of the hunt, always partnered with soul-bonded animal companions that can be found in wild spaces all over the world. As their lifestyles often tend toward independence and isolation, it is rare for rangers to become an integral part of the large fighting force, though they are often employed as scouts and guides. Starting ability, Animal Companion. All rangers share a strong bond with an animal companion. The companion fights at the ranger's command and is extremely valuable for its ability to run interference. Animal companions don't do much damage, but they have high damage reduction. The link between the ranger and companion is powerful. If one goes down in battle, the other suffers as well. Oh, I see. Stealth +1, survival +2, endurance and so on. Yeah, the thing is, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to have an animal companion that is tanking for me while I'll do all the damage from behind. So yeah. Druids, they have like a saber and a shield. In D&D, druids are the ones who can change themselves into animals, basically. I assume that will be similar here. Yeah, Spirit Shift. All druids have mastered one animalistic form. These forms give the druid strong melee abilities and grant an additional power while the druid is shifted. Spells. Druids have access to a variety of offensive and some support-oriented spells. Every 2 levels, druids automatically gain access to an additional set of spells. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest. As druids gain power, their weaker spells eventually shift to be to per encounter use. Alright. Rogues, yeah, with 2 daggers, so like Astarion in Baldur's Gate 3. Starting ability, Sneak Attack. Applies bonus damage to the rogue's ranged and melee weapon attacks when the target has any of the following afflictions: blinded, flanked, hobbled, paralyzed, petrified, prone, stuck, stunned, or weakened. Those are a lot of afflictions. It also applies to any target the rogue strikes with a weapon within the first 2 seconds of combat. Okay, so basically in his first attack. Next one is the fighter, which is the main tank, usually. Starting ability, constant recovery. Fighters continually regenerate endurance at a modest rate during combat. Yes, definitely the reason why they are the main tank. So yeah. Wizards. Okay, so we have the damage dealers, the mage damage dealers, the what is it called? The spell damage dealers, kind of, yeah. They have a book and a scepter, kind of. Arcane Assault, mid-range attack that hits a small area of raw damage and can leave targets dazed. Spells. Wizards have access to a variety of offensive and personal defense spells. Unlike priests and druids, wizards learn individual spells that they store in and cast directly from their grimoires. Grimoires can only hold 4 spells of each spell level, which motivates wizards to keep multiple grimoires for different needs. Every 2 levels, wizards gain access to an additional set of spells. However, they can automatically learn 1 spell of any level they can access each time they advance. Wizards also have the option of learning spells from grimoires they find or buy. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest. As wizards gain power, their weaker spells eventually shift to per encounter use. Alright. And the last one is the monk. Yeah, probably someone who will fight with his fists, as I would assume. Transcendent suffering. When monks have no weapons equipped, their unarmed attacks, like I said, are exceptionally powerful and continue to increase in damage as they gain levels. Wounds. As monks are damaged, their pain generates wounds. Wounds can be used to power many of the monk's special abilities. Ooh. So basically they like to be hit. Do we have someone who is masochistic, kind of? Okay, but let's go back to the ranger. Okay, ranger abilities. Wounded shot. Oh, I have to choose which one I want. Wounded shot, wounding shot. As he or she would with fleeing prey, the hunter aims for a spot that will slow the target's enemy's progress, hobbling the target and inflicting raw damage over time to it. 2 per encounter, speed average, range 6 meters, interrupt 0.5 seconds on average. Effects: target, if successful, hobbled for 10 seconds, accuracy versus fortitude, so my accuracy versus the opponent's fortitude. User, primary attack, 5 to 8 crush, accuracy versus deflection, 100% damage inflicted over time, 6 seconds. Okay, these are a lot of numbers. Basically, our accuracy has to be higher than the fortitude of our enemy, so that we can make the enemy hobbled, and our accuracy must be higher than the deflection of the enemy, so that we can do 100% damage, which is inflicted over time per 6 seconds, and the damage is 5 to 8 crushing damage apparently. Okay, what is the marked prey? Designates a single target as prey, giving the ranger an animal companion and animal companion damage bonus against that target, 1 per encounter. Marked for 30 seconds. So if we have only 1 enemy, then that would be great. If not, but I think I'm going for the marked prey. Sometimes we'll just have boss fights, I guess, and then it makes sense to use that. Okay. Animal companion. We could have an antelope companion. Have naturally superior defenses, deflection, fortitude, reflex. Oh, I knew there was a lot of text, but I don't know if I can read through all of it here. Speed average. Bear companion. That would be nice, I think, because that would be someone who can tank really well. Bear companions have unusually high damage reduction, giving them superior protection from all forms of damage. All rangers form a strong spiritual connection with a single creature, the animal companion. This connection allows rangers and their companions to coordinate attacks and efficiently take down prey. In most situations, the companion runs interference while the ranger attacks at range. Despite these advantages, there are risks to the relationship. Rangers share literal life bonds with their animal companions. When one is wounded, the other can sense it and feel intense emotional pain. If a ranger or animal companion are knocked unconscious, the partner suffers from bonded grief, affecting accuracy and other stats until the downed ally is revived. If a ranger is ever killed, the animal companion immediately dies from grief. Ooh. Into what, that's hard. I think I'll go for the bear, but let me see. We have also boars. Inflict more damage when they are below 50% endurance. Okay, well, but they are not supposed to do damage. The bear is probably not that fast. Oh no, it's an average speed. Okay. Lion companion. Oh, also interesting. Lion companions have the ability to terrify enemies with a powerful roar. All rangers form a strong spiritual connection. Okay, that's the same text as always. Speed average. Stag companion, so a little bit like Harry Potter, kind of. No. Speed average, what do they have? Activate the melee attack that does damage to all enemies in a small area around the main target, or a wolf companion that does high damage and can more easily avoid disengagement attacks. Okay. But they all have average speed. I'm leaning towards bear or lion. I think bear would be perfect for, yeah. I mean, he has a damage reduction which is really high, so that would be perfect for me. Terrifying enemies is also nice, but I think I'll have to go for the bear. So the bear is my tank, and I will use all my damage. And the bear is unlikely to die because of the damage reduction. Holy hell. Why is there so many text? So much text in here. Yeah, I'll go for the bear so that I can kill enemies and the bear can keep them at bay. Animal companion name. Oh, I can name that. I can name it. What do I want to call my bear? Call it Baloo, like in the Jungle Book. No, I'm not going to do that. God, give me 1 second. Okay, I think I found a name. Arctos. Yeah, I checked a little bit on the internet in the meantime, and yeah. I don't want him to be like burned or Zed or something weird. Something that has gravita would be nice. Arctos has some kind of a gravita, I think, so let's go for that. Alright. We need might and perception, as well as dexterity and intellect. For what do we need intellect? Let me just go through them one by one. Might represents a character's physical and spiritual strength. Brute force, as well as the ability to channel powerful magic during interactions. It can be useful for intimidating displays and acts of brutal force. In combat, it contributes to both damage and healing, as well as the fortitude defense. Constitution is a combination of the character's overall health and stamina. Although it is not used much in interactions, it is sometimes checked to withstand pain or endure a physical taxing ordeal. In combat, it affects maximum health and endurance and contributes to the fortitude defense. This is something we won't need that much. Dexterity is an abstraction of a character's hand-eye coordination, balance, and overall grace. In interactions, it can be used for sleight of hand and fast reactions. In combat, it affects the character's action speed with all attack spells and abilities and contributes to the reflex defense. Recommended for ranger. Yeah, it says here highly recommended. Might, perception is highly recommended. Intellect and dexterity are just normally recommended. Okay, perception. Perception represents a character's senses as well as their instinctive ability to pick up on details. In interactions, it can be used to catch someone in a lie, to make an observant comment about their appearance, or to notice something happening in the background. In combat, it contributes to accuracy, the reflex defense, and grants a bonus to interrupt. Okay, intellect. Yeah. Intellect represents a character's logic and reasoning capabilities. In interactions, it can be useful for deduction, sudden realization, and problem solving. In combat, it contributes to the will, defense, and influences durations and areas of effect for all abilities and talents. And last but not least, resolve. Resolve reflects the character's internal drive, determination, fearlessness, and the emotional intensity they can project to others. It can be useful for mental intimidation, leadership, and convincing performances. In combat, it helps characters maintain concentration and contributes to the will and deflection defenses. And sort of the thing is like deflection defense. What is deflection? Deflection is the defense used to resist direct melee and ranged attacks against the characters that are not area of effect. It is defined by the character's class level and resolve, but may also be influenced by shields, certain weapons, talents, and other effects from spells or items. Okay, so resolve has deflection. Is anything else also about deflection? Well, the thing is, I would like to be good in something defensively. What is reflex defense? The reflex defense allows characters to dodge out of the way of physically harmful area of effect attacks. But only area of effect attacks, okay, but not direct like the reflection does. Okay, it is defined by a character's class, level, dexterity, and perception, but may also be influenced by other effects. Okay, so with resolve we can withstand attacks from direct hits, and with dexterity we can withstand attacks, area of effect attacks. Perception also has a reflex. And intellect has, okay, just other kind of defects. Okay, so let's see. Constitution is the thing that we would need the least, so I would like to dump it a little. Let's put it back to 8. Dexterity, well, we should have might level very high. Let's put this to 16. Perception as well, I think. Maybe let's put it to 14. I mean, I would like to have resolve at 14, dexterity at 14 is possible, and then we have 1 point left. Well, I think in that case I could just put 1 less in constitution and give myself 2 points in something. Well, it has to be intellect then, I guess. Well, I definitely know that in the beginning of the game, if my constitution is very low and I'm just hit once, I'll be dead already. So I really have to rely on my bear to keep me alive. But I don't want to have my constitution so low. I know that apart from here, you won't be able to get any more attribute points in the game apart from gear or I don't know, like drinks that you drink, something that cannot be added by leveling up. So you won't get any more attribute points by leveling up, that's what I mean. Gosh. Maybe I should have... if I put this here and put this up to 16, that might be better to have those at 16. Resolve at 14. I could put it back to 13 to get the... Yeah, the problem here is this 1 point. What am I going to do with the 1 point here? I don't really know what I want to do with that 1 point. Oh, I get 1 more here. Okay. This is the culture. Adir. The Adir Empire is currently the largest and most powerful force in this part of the world. It is centered around the equator and has a tropical climate, though the empire has colonies in numerous areas of the world. Greater Adir is at its heart and houses the majority of its humans and elven nations. Deadfire Archipelago. Does that have anything to do with the second game, Deadfire? Maybe. I mean, it's probably the area, the same area where the second game plays in. Consisting of the nation of Nasitak, dozens of Aumaua settlements and hundreds of lawless pirate-infested islands that stretch along the southern sea. Deadfire is home to boreal dwarfs, Aumaua, and a mixed variety of other races. Deadfire Archipelago is the last stop for anyone headed east. A multitude of monstrous sea creatures infest the ocean beyond, making travel virtually impossible. The dexterity is something that I would need, then I would give myself 1 less in dexterity and put that point into something else then. We'll see. Ixamital Plains. Located to the northeast of Air Glanfath, the Ixamital Plains are a large expanse of fertile savannas that are extensively farmed by human and Orlan residents. The Ixamital culture is one of the oldest in the world, though one of the least imperialistic, having spread out little over the past several thousand years. With resolve, Old Valia. Oh, I would have a crossbow instead. Once the crown jewel of the Southern Seas, Old Valia is now the crumbled remnants of an empire of warring merchant nations, counting many humans and dwarfs among their ranks. The Old Valian countries are still forces to be reckoned with and are proud of their rich cultural heritage. Intellect +1. Rauatai. Also a crossbow, but a big one in this case. Dominated by the Aumaua nation of Rauatai, the Gulf itself is host to a number of nations, most of them Aumaua, Orlan, and Dwarven. Though these countries are relatively young, they are some of the most advanced colonial settlements in the east. The Gulf is a land of riches and resources for those who can take them, though the entire coast is often pummeled by violent storms. Constitution +1. The Living Lands. This one wears the bow in the left hand, okay. The Living Lands is the mountainous region of a large northern island renowned for its diversity of plant and animal life. Its weather is unpredictable and its ecosystems vary dramatically from valley to valley. The Living Lands are home to an assortment of races in a variety of colonial and independent settlements. And last but not least, the White That Wends. A large cracked southern expanse of polar ice, the White That Wends is home to pale elves and small colonies of daring explorers, outcasts and adventurers. While virtually no plant life grows in the White, it is home to many hardy species of dangerous animals that forage from the sea or prey upon each other to survive. I think I'll go for the Deadfire one, just because, well, I'm planning to play the second game, and maybe that plays into my experience. Also, the dexterity is very helpful, although now that I have 1 dexterity point here, I have 2 points more left, which I can invest in something, and I think I'll put them into might, because I really want to have that more damage output here. Yeah, for the rest I think I'll have to live with it, but damage output should be very high now for me. Alright. Okay. Background, or even more. Aristocrats? You've lived your life amongst the nobility. Your days have been marked by lavish meals and extravagant parties. Your conversations peppered with talk of pedigree and bloodlines. Drifter? You never quite fit in no matter where you go. Each new town is just a place to rest briefly before moving on to the next. You're more comfortable on the road, traveling the world. Stealth and Mechanics. Explorer? You find the siren call of the horizon irresistible. You cannot help but wonder what lies beyond the next hill or wave, and you've built your life around finding out. Lore and survival? Hunter. You live for the thrill of the chase, whether for glory or for sustenance. You have made your living taking the lives of wild creatures. Stealth and survival? This would fit to a ranger, maybe, yeah? Although I have an animal companion with me, maybe not so much. Laborer? Your life has been spent in the study of your craft. You trained and prepared, hoping to hone your skills and ply your trade. Athletics and mechanics? Mercenary? Blade and battle is your way of life. You solve your problems by pulling out your weapon and applying force. Athletics and lore. Merchant? You've traded goods from all over the world, pairing items with buyers of all kinds. Lore and mechanics. Raider? You've spent your life on the wrong side of the law. What you want, you take, and what was theirs has a tendency to become yours. Stealth and athletics. Slave? You have never known freedom. Shackles and chains have bound your existence, and someone has told you what to do your entire life. That wouldn't make sense, I think, with the bear. The raider is a, well, thief kind of. A merchant. Goods from all. Okay, not really. Mercenary is fighter. Laborer. Interesting. The hunter, yeah, but not with my bear companion. Explorer would be interesting. I think that's something that someone from that fire might be doing. Drifter. That's interesting. Aristocrat lore. I think I like stealth and mechanics, because stealth for more damage, kind of. And mechanics, I already know that you need mechanics for seeing traps and hidden things. So mechanics is something that is really necessary for me. So I think I'll go for the drifter. Stealth and mechanics. Okay, next. Ooh, finally we can get to our appearance. What is this? Ah, this is the color of what I'm wearing. I think I'll get to that later. The skin color, I can only get darker. Okay, not so many things that I can do. I am personally dark-haired brown, but this doesn't look like brown hair in my opinion, actually. This looks a bit weird. We could have red hair, interesting. I think I'll go for brown hair. That brown hair is nice. Let me also check if I can change this kind of. Probably gonna change that later on once I have my full appearance. I like green. Maybe I'll take one specific green tone. This one maybe, yeah. Although maybe it doesn't really fit that much, but let me see the secondary. Oh, that's the trousers. This looks like a like someone from the circus, maybe. Yeah, black is fine. Black is fine. Okay. Facial hair. Oof. Can I zoom in? No, I can't zoom in. I mean, I have facial hair in real life, so maybe that's something I should use. But I don't have that much facial hair, so this one maybe, yeah. The head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe the fourth. No. Yeah, I think the second one is fine. Now to the hair. Holy hell. Short hair would be nice. I mean, this. Oof. No, no. Okay, it's difficult to find actually hair that fits my personal hairstyle. Yeah, it really is difficult. I guess this one is the closest I can get. 10. 11 is okay-ish. But maybe then the facial hair, not the facial hair, the head looks a bit off. Okay. What if I do that without any hair? Okay, no, that looks a bit weird, I think. Let me get back to the hair I had before. Not this one. Yeah, this one then. Actually, the picture is now fitting. Yeah, I probably won't be able to get a better one than the 30-second one. Or I just take one that I like and then make my character look like the portrait. Okay, a lot of women characters now. This one looks a bit like my Dragon Age Origins character. I think I want my character to look a bit like this one, so we get black hair, and then he has no facial hair, so let's get rid of that. The head. I think that should be fine. The hair. Yeah, it's like this then, but okay, I have to change this one though. Maybe like a dark brown. Okay. It's difficult to make a character look exactly like that. Yeah, it is the lightest one possible. Yeah, I think... yeah, maybe there. This maybe... yeah, let's go for this one. Here I think I'm not going to be able to find a better hair. Skin color, I mean. The hair is already the darkest possible. He looks a little bit like the character there, but I think I'll take this one, yeah. Taking a long time to actually do my character here, but yeah, I guess that's how it has to be. Can I listen for it? Is there a... whoa, that is really, really quiet. I can't hear anything. Why can I not hear that? I think I'll keep the cocky voice then. I think that fits the best. The problem with my head is like, I think the head is a little bit brighter than on the appearance, but I think I'll have to accept it. We have a lot of females as well. I'll keep the cocky one. I can't hear him anyways at the moment, so yeah. And my name. So what do I choose? Okay, I have taken a name of, let's say, one of my favorite footballers of all time, or soccer if you're watching from the US. Yeah, and I'm not talking about Diego Maradona, I'm talking about another Diego, a Brazilian player. So yeah, I think that name fits well to our character, more to the appearance one than to the actual one here, but well, we'll see. It's fine, let's go. Okay, I think we're done. Oh,